Hey guys. Alright, so we're going to do another build diary video. So it's now day 6 or almost day 7, I think. So this will be from day, I think, 5 to 6 and 7, I guess, by the time you're watching this. Basically right after I made the last video, I did end up buying the Mage Blood and swapping over to that. And sometime this morning or so, I swapped over to moving the Doryani's prototype over to my mercenary. And I'm now running this setup. So we'll do a wave 15 simulacrum so you can see what it's like. But my Merc gear is pretty basic, and I'm not really sure what exactly I'll put on him in the endgame version, because we'll have to change some things around, because right now I'm not running Purity of Elements, but eventually we'll be running Purity of Elements, so we'll have to kind of swap some gear around and that kind of stuff, and then test it in Valdos and see how it's like. But basically, I didn't really want to do this before I had a Mage Blood, because it's just really hard, if not almost impossible, to get enough elemental resistances on this build without using things like the Mage Blood resistance flask and getting some very like specialized gear for like resistances and that kind of stuff. So that's why I kind of held off on actually doing. Oh, this is kind of the wrong craft here. We'll fix that in a bit, but that's why I kind of held off on doing that until I got the Mage Blood. And then right after I got the Mage Blood, they nerfed the Mercs. So I was like, oh great, well, good thing I didn't do that. But then they kind of reverted the change, so the Mercs are pretty much back to where they were on release. So that means they are probably still going to be viable to be running these prototype setups, and probably well into endgame as well, I would say, if you do actually give your Merc good enough gear to survive. Okay, so let's take a look at the stats of my Merc. Right now, he's only at 161 lightning res. It's because I'm actually still giving him this shield, which I probably will replace. I'm not sure if I will, because this is like pretty much perma endurance charges on demand. Like pretty much all the time, because he attacks so fast, and then the KB kind of like shoots out so many different explosions that pretty much right away you're like instantly getting your what would you say, max endurance charges. So I'm not really sure what we'll do, but without the shield, you can see he's at 197. So basically at minus 200 with the current gear we have. We can get way better rings than this, and I'll probably end up crafting and mirroring my own, or like reflecting my own rings and that kind of stuff in the endgame version. So quickly go over what he's wearing. He's just wearing my actual prototype, which I should probably sell because this is a 6 link. And then we just have some basic gear to get some minus lightning res and a little bit of cold and fire resistance. And I probably should replace the gloves as well, because I don't need these anymore. Just been not lazy, you say, but there's so many other things I need to do that I just haven't bothered doing this yet. But I'll probably get around to that and give him some rare gloves, I guess. One nice thing is that since we are an actual aura stacker with a lot of aura effect, pretty much close to like ×3 aura effect, or like 200% increased. So my Merc, basically, even though he doesn't even have that much armor gear, he has like 15k armor right now, which will go up by quite a bit more once we give him some actual, like, if we gave him like actual armor gear and this kind of stuff, he'd probably have like 30k armor. Right, so that's pretty nice. As well as giving him some other benefits. You can see he has like over 2k energy shield because of our discipline aura. He's got like almost 10k evasion, which does actually help him survive quite a bit when there's like a lot of things attacking at once, right? So aside from that, he also does have pretty decent regen. I think like just like 1,200 or 1,400 with pretty much no real resistance. I think only a regen on the boots. There's no like implicits on here or anything. And then he has lightning leech as well as 16% recoup. So I might change the helmet around. But basically the only items you're going to need, I'll put everything together in a POB. I have one here. This is basically pretty much all you would need. And you don't really need to use the KB guy, I guess, but the KB guy has haste, so that's why I'm keeping him. But we could swap over to the striker. We'll have to see how, basically how, what kind of stats are required for harder content. But anyways, so basically we just need the prototype, and then all you really need is the toe and then 2 rings and immortal flesh. I catalyst this up to with resistance, so it goes from 25 to 30, minus 30 all. Anyway, so this is like sort of the basic setup. I'll have these in the Armour Stacker Compendium as well. Overall, I would say if you can get this setup running without running a Mage Blood, it's going to be pretty rough because if we take a look at my res, I'm overcapped a bit for Simulacrum, but without my flask, you see I'm only at like 80. And then, so you would have to get another, at the bare minimum, 10 all, which isn't that hard, I would say. You probably have to either get rid of, you can get it on the helmet, I guess. You can get a couple of resistances here. You could also, would probably have to get it on a belt, right? Or change the gloves or the boots. So it's kind of rough, right? Or you can get it on the tree. I guess there is some decent nodes on the tree, like the armor evasion area here, or I mean the armor energy shield, or the armor evasion. Probably these nodes here, because this has a pretty nice passive over here, like immune to bleeding, or you could also do the regen life every 4 seconds, which is gonna be pretty big. So you could actually get it working, and there is also this resistance area here for 4 points for a jewel socket, right? In that case, you would just kind of pass it down this way because it's the same amount of points if you come all the way to here. So there's a couple of ways to do it. If you are not on a Mage Blood and you want to do this kind of setup over here, but I just kind of wanted to do it after I got the Mage Blood because it was already working fine with the prototype. So, okay. Aside from that, for the rings, you are going to need pretty good rings. I would say T1, T1, at least resistances on the suffixes, and then 1 all res. And then this one doesn't have all res, but if you had all res on here instead of int, then that would probably fix resistances as well. So I guess it's not that hard to do, what do you call it, without the Mage Blood, right? Okay, so for the body armor, so I do have a base that I want to craft on. It's a 30 quality Twilight Regalia, and we're going to be using, or at least I want to use the Regalia because it has the highest energy shield. And basically, oh, sorry about that, guys. We'll just go D&D. I want this Merc to work, so, and if he is going to work, which probably is because he is working now, basically, this is giving us almost infinite damage. Some earlier tests I did in POB with the endgame config from last League and Settlers goes all the way up to about 18 billion DPS with completely min-maxed gear. With, you know, not min-maxed gear, like the setup I was running for entering Valdos was about like, what, 300 million DPS when I did it on 3.25, and that setup in the current League would be almost 1 billion. So damage is not a problem. It won't be a problem, I think. So that's why I think I want to go for some more defense and just get more energy shield, pretty much. So anyways, we'll be crafting this probably sometime in the weekend or next week, not really sure. But until then, I'm just using some armor. One thing is choosing your armor base, because if you're playing Smite, you want 6 red sockets, and that on a very high int base is going to be kind of a problem. So there's 2 things you can do. First of all is use an armor and evasion base. That's going to make your life quite a lot easier getting the colors. Or you get one of these, you buy one of these armors with the heist enchant that says all sockets are red. And it can also come with the 10% increased explicit defense modifiers, which is pretty big. So that's what I bought. This was like 1 divine, I think. I just used harvest for reforged defense until I got something decent, right? I mean, this is like pretty Pepega, but it, you know, gets the job done until I actually finish the actual armor. So that's pretty much it. And then I just bought a new ring, right? So that's pretty much all I needed to do the swap. And then I did make a new helmet. So I'll probably be using this until there is, like, this is good enough until there is a synth mirror helmet, pretty much. So that's probably what I'll be using until then. As far as how to craft this, I did make a video in 3.25, I believe, or 3.24, how to craft these. It's very simple. You just use fossils, and you can make one of these. So you can go check that video out if you're interested. As for the passive tree, so we're level 99 right now, almost level 100. You can see here. Oh, anyways. All right, okay, so well, now I was using Doryani's prototype. I actually did go down to Leaf Shade for a little bit, but then now that I have this set up, I don't really care that much about degen, so I just got some more energy shield. I did need some more int, So I just went down to the path of the savant for some more int, but this is, you know, you don't really need to actually do this. And I do have a lot of extra mana reservation because I removed Tempest Shield, and I'm now playing with Versatile Combatant instead of Tempest Shield. Although I probably could fit in Tempest Shield because I have so much extra mana reservation. See, my mana is like 140 extra mana, which I totally don't need. So anyways, there's a lot of things to do on the build, but right now, this is probably where I'll stop, how would you say, improving this version of the build, because all we need to do now is hit level 100, get some proper armor, and then we can swap over to the Valdol, what do you call it, farming setup, which is basically pretty similar to this, except that I'm going to be going on the right-hand side of the tree, because we're playing Molten Strike, so we want to pick up stuff like Point Blank and Precise Technique and that kind of stuff. So for now, for the Smite setup, I would say just stick with something like this. You could actually even go over to the right-hand side on Smite. You just need to get 10 stun tattoos or get stun immunity on your one of your flasks. And then you can come this way and get Precise Technique and drop Precision, which will open up quite a bit of mana. But anyways, until then, this is kind of, it's working right now. And the last point at level 100 will probably just be this one Endurance charge. Alright, so that is kind of the updates to the build. So we'll just run the Simulacrum. You can see this guy, even though his gear is, I mean, the actual defensive stats on his gear is like pretty bad. He is pretty much never going to actually take damage, you can see. He hasn't even gotten close to dying yet, which is pretty insane. And I think that has to do with, like, he has like a lot of, oh, we gotta get out of the hands here. He has a lot of evasion, right? So he doesn't really get hit that much. And then when he does get hit, he has a lot of energy shield, a lot of armor, and a lot of things that will kind of help him survive the damage, as well as like the regen, the recoup, the leech, and that kind of stuff. So, alright, so let's just finish this up here. We got Mr. Kosis, or is this Kosis? Yeah. Alright, so let's just kill him off real quick. I don't know why we're not doing any damage to him. It's been kind of weird sometimes with like lag, where, I don't know, one of my rings, or I don't know, I think it's the actual like the tincture, like draining my mana. And the actual like mana leech that I have isn't actually super good, I realize. So I'll probably have to fix that. But I think once I get the instant leech, when I go over to the right hand side here, we can pick up the instant leech over here. It's going to be quite a bit better. Anyways, that's kind of what it's like. Pretty safe, I would say. Like, there's probably 0 chance of you dying on this setup in Simulacrum with this kind of gear. So, where's the last guy? The only sad thing is that my my Soul Eater setup for the KB guy is kind of gone. So maybe I might even just give him Soul Ascension, just because it's kind of fun making him have Soul Eater. Where is this last guy? Oh, I think we actually killed him. Alright, never mind. Okay, so that'll be it for the video, guys. I'll have a POB, so the one I linked over here, the Merc POB will be in the Armour Stacker Compendium as well. I guess in the video description I'll put it there too. So you can go check it out. But yeah, that'll be it for the video, guys. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.